Alrighty, we're here. Check out my outfit. I got it pretty late. Oh man. Credit to LA Dynasty for that. That's the Honda remix. I got it pretty late. I slept pretty late though. I think we got off at 11 something, and then I didn't sleep until probably midnight. And then I slept, right? And then I woke up at 7 something. 7:40 because I had to use the bathroom because I drank a lot of water the night before, and then I couldn't sleep for like an hour, so I went back to sleep around 8:40, and then I didn't wake up until 11. I was like, shit. I was hoping to just wake up at like 9:10 as usual, but yeah. So hopefully I won't have trouble falling asleep later tonight. I don't know. As long as I don't drink any caffeine or anything late in the evening. Oh yeah, check out my outfit. This is what peak performance looks like. I'm trying to gear up and get better stuff. So yeah. I gotta go to Oswary, right? I mean, right now it's like early. It's too early to like seriously worry about your gear. You just put whatever you got. Like, you shouldn't really be. Don't do what I did and bust through a bunch of like Alc orbs and scouring orbs and jewelers and fusing especially, because you gotta use it for later in the game, like mapping. Because once again, all these gear are gonna be replaced, so there's no point of there's really no point of busting through all of it. We're gonna have to replace Ixa for a higher level. Oh, my bad, I forgot my mixer. I turned off PoE music. It's kind of sucks that you can't level up the mercenaries. It'd be nice, like, if you found one that you really like. I just want to gear them up and just level them up. But also, you can't really change the abilities either. So yeah, the only thing to do is just to keep finding better ones and replacing. But this one's perfect. But I gave a bunch of like rare gears to which is not nothing valuable, to the Zixa, the other mercenary, the one that I had, the lowest level one. But I think the system can go a long way if they were to make it more customizable for your yeah, if you can not only change, I mean, you could change the gear right now, but you can't level them up and you can't really change their ability. I mean, it might be kind of OP if you could change their ability, but that I understand. But that'd be nice to just keep the same mercenary from like level 1 and just level them up. You know, if you're pretty happy with them. But right now the only solution is, or the only choice is to keep replacing your mercenaries for higher level ones. Hopefully I can find one that is a good necromancer. Right now it's I guess an occultist with dot damage. With regards to the streaming PC, I don't think that'll be done until like end of this year. But I'm not in a rush for it yet. Although like I do want to get it up and running before. I mean, The Witcher 4 is not going to be until next year. Plus GTA won't be until like 2 years from now, and Battlefield won't be until next year. So I'm not in a huge rush. I can literally wait until next year, till prices get better. But I think the likeliest scenario is that I'm gonna go for like as budget of a setup as I can, because it's just a streaming PC. So you know, all I really need is just for it to be able to run the capture card, and then like any decent graphics card will do. I can still even reuse my 1050 Ti, shouldn't matter, because I'm not really, you know, I don't really need anything crazy, right? I'm not gonna like spend like 2K to upgrade, you know. So I'm gonna try and do as best of a build as I can in terms of budgeting, and I have all the time for that. But also make sure that it is also has room for upgrade. For example, like as long as I go with like an AM5 socket, then I can continue upgrading the build. You know, not that it really truly like really matters that much, because I can even go with an AM4 and I'll be fine. But if I, you know, were to for whatever reason want to give away the PC or something, then I want to make sure that it it has an upgrade path. Like if I were to go AM4, then all of the AM4 motherboards and compatible RAMs go out of stock or just become more scarce, then I'm gonna have to spend more just to do you know, an actual upgrade. So it's one of those thingies where at first you're like, okay, I'm just gonna go for budget and stick with that, but you know, you also have to think about like long term too. Like what if, for example, I mean, you could probably get away with AM4 for now for like the next 5 years and you'd be fine. But I mean, for me, I just want something that's like at AM5, like the lowest tier one you can find, but have a, you know, a decent price to performance. But you know, obviously, you're not gonna go like a 7800 X3D CPU, right? AM5. Probably go with something like a step down from it, and it should run just fine. Because at the end of the day, the stream PC is gonna be only used for really just editing and recording, and it doesn't. I don't think it'll need anything crazy. But also, you don't want to find out that, oh, you know, I made this super budget build, it runs, you know, streaming nicely, but when it comes to editing or recording it, you know, maybe it doesn't run so well or something. So that's something to think about as well, because essentially the streaming PC will be like the same PC that's used for recording, right? So it's gonna run OBS, so I had to think about that ahead, you know, stuff like that. So, but then, yes, I said, I got plenty of time for that. The same way I took my time for the most part when it came to building this complete overhaul, totally full-on upgrade. I was really kind of banking on the idea of just using my old case and just upgrading it, but I realized that, like for example, the motherboard might need like a decent AIO. Especially if I'm running like a AMD like AM5 that, you know, draws more power. So that's what I thought about. I was like, I know I can probably use a passive cooler or passive radiator based cooler. Pretty much the fan ones, right? Fan base, you know, fins and whatever. I was thinking of that, but I was like, okay, if I'm running an AM5, especially if it's gonna be a 9950 XTD, and maybe it's gonna draw a lot more power, then I was like, okay, I might need an AIO just to make sure that my system can cool. Although, you know, there's plenty of really good I don't even know what you call it, just radiator based coolers that perform just as well as an AIO, I guess. So that's something that I was like, okay, what if I were gonna reuse my old case? Number one, I won't have access to USB 3.0 or USB-C slots on the front panel, and then some of the connectors of the front panels and whatever probably are, you know, how do you say? There's an issue with like cable management, and then also like some of the cables are kind of too short, or maybe not compatible or whatever. Although I think most of the connectors should be able to connect to the ports on the IO ports on the motherboard. But that was what I was worried about. It's like, what if I have a bunch of features on this motherboard that can't be utilized because my case doesn't have the right connectors or even ports for it. So I ended up deciding to just completely go with an upgraded case, which I'm pretty happy about. I ended up going with the Antec C8. It's crazy because I didn't think that they would have it at Micro Center, but apparently they did. It's not like one of the newest gens or anything, but it was in terms of like size and ports that I needed and fan slots or whatever. It met the requirements that I needed, and then also sort of a good it's inspiration from my old build, which was the Antec, I think like something C300 or something, I don't remember. But pretty much my old computer was the Antec case, and this one is like an upgraded Antec case again. It was pretty cool to see, like, you know, if you're going for an upgrade, and then it's like seeing some of the parts be an upgrade of its, you know, within the same brand. I was really banking on getting the XFX graphics card because my original Radeon HD 7970 graphics card that I built back in 2013 was an XFX card, and XFX still makes graphics card, and they're like the top 3, up there in the top 3 in terms of like third-party manufacturers for AMD. So there's Sapphire, there's XFX, and I think there was another one out there, I can't remember, but yeah. I want to say MSI, but I think MSI might be considered mid-tier right now, so I'm not too sure. But I think the one that came up the most was XFX and Sapphire. Gigabyte's pretty good too, and I ended up going with a Gigabyte because it was the one that was like the lowest price. And it didn't really have much of a choice really, because I had to buy it in a bundle with a motherboard, and if I wanted something better, then it would have cost like way higher over MSRP.
As we say in House Zadi, blades speak more on guard.
So yeah, I just wish that I spent more time on the AIO, the fans, the cooler, and the PSU, and the RAM. Because I think if I did, then I would have got something for like a lower price. You know, even if it was like maybe it didn't have RGB or something. Because for me, I don't really care too much about RGB. I should have just gone with like a G scale, like a non-RGB one, and that would have cost lesser. But I was like, I think when I was at Micro Center, I was doing sort of like a price comparison. So I found like 6 of 32s, right? 2 6 of 32s from G scale, I think. Non-RGB, it was almost the same price as the G scale Tridents, which has RGB, the Trident Neo or something like that. So I was this close to getting the non-RGB, but I was like, wait, but this one is like same specs and very similar price. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna spend like another $20 to get the RGB version. So I did. But you know, man, them choices are hard. I think maybe one of these days I will do like a little sort of build guide on PC Part Picker. But I'm pretty sure if I spent a lot more time, and I'm fairly confident that I would have been able to build something for 2600, just pure desktop, but significantly cheaper than my current build, and probably would be able to pull off a 9070 XT with an AMD CPU. It probably would have been a 7800 XD, because that's kind of in a sweet spot right now in terms of like price to performance. So yeah, but I mean, I'm pretty happy with my build so far. It's the only thing is technical issues with drivers and motherboard. I hate dealing with flashing BIOS. It's always scary to do. You do it a few times, it's fine, but it always, it's the one thing that can break your system. So
For freedom.
yeah, but I have installed everything I need so far. I think the most recent thing I did was I replaced the 2 front fans. They had 240 millimeter Noctua fans. Oh, by the way, I if I were to put together like a budget friendly build, I would never choose a Noctua because it's more on the expensive side. It's obviously a pretty good product, right? Very well done product. But if like, I wouldn't recommend it for someone who wants something a very tight budget build. I would say Arctic cool fans are fine. They perform really well and they're pretty cheap. Well, like $10 per fan or something. And if you want something with maybe a little bit more quieter and performs better, and still fairly cheap, is the Be Quiet fans. Those are made in Germany, or manufactured in Germany, I think. But those perform really well, and I would highly recommend those. Like if you want something kind of like a little bit more than a like budget friendly fan and like perform really well, I would just say just do all Be Quiet. But you might have a hard time finding 140 millimeters if your case has those. But there's plenty of 120 millimeters sold at like Micro Center or Newegg or Amazon. But yeah, I mean, if you're trying to go for matching fans, all black, you might need to order it online, because I couldn't find it at the store. But if there was plenty of Be Quiet fans in supply, like if there were at least like 7 to 8, and then enough 140 millimeter ones, then I would have gone with that. But I didn't. They only had like 2 or 3, so I ended up having to order Noctua fans online. But yeah. But there's plenty of good as I said, the budget friendly accessories out there available. Ooh, that's a lot of. That's a lot of life on that. See if I can get some resist on here. But like, if I had to recommend, like, what's like, where you cap it at in terms of the, if you somebody's building a new computer and then they ask me like, what's a good sort of price to or budget? I would say if you're going for modern parts, brand new build, I would say keep it under 2600. Like I think realistically, if you can somehow build it for 2k to 2200, that's very good. But that might require a little bit more deeper research,
Greetings.
right? And you might have to get some like more budget-friendly parts, or some you might even have to buy on like eBay, like pre-owned or something. But I think it's doable with all new parts. It's just that you might have to, some areas you might need to like go light on in terms of like the expense. Like you can definitely find a lower price PSU, case, fans, even RAM. And then, I mean, CPU is CPU, right? I mean, if you are willing to go tear down or go with an older gen, then you'll probably, I think it's totally doable. But I think if, like, realistically, if you want to get a new gen, like all new gen parts or mostly new gen parts, I would say 2600 or under. Like 25 to 2600 should be doable. I gotta find the waypoint up there. Let me go back before it resets. And it also depends on like what are you gonna do? Like, are you gaming? Are you doing like video editing or like productivity stuff? But yeah.
Come, ravenous one. Let me devour your heart.
Can I like pause so I can put my skill point in?
When I'm ready, and not before.
Okay. But is this the okay. I like the stuff that she has. Bane and Blight. Watch out, you're gonna get hurt. Oh, nearly walked in that. I need to get my totem set up for Wither. Alrighty. I mean, I'm looking forward to GTA 6 and Witcher 4, but as I said, I really want to get the streaming PC set up before then, because I don't want to have to like. It's gonna be so annoying dealing with having to adjust my graphics just to run it and stream at the same time on the same PC. So I'd rather have it where it's a separate PC doing the streaming, and then I can just, you know, run the game at its intended graphics or optimal graphics.
I've never had to pay the price for my ambitions.
And then there's Battlefield 6. I don't know what's going on there, but I mean, I want to play it. But then again, I'm kind of concerned about how, like, you know, in terms of development.
Time and tide wait for no man.
Alchemy and black thaumaturgy? You sure know how to live.
Yes. Aye. Stay sharp out there. You want
So this is like the first soft gear check, essentially, after you kill Katava. I think for new players, I was gonna do sort of a gear check before Katava, but like if you're more experienced, probably the gear check would be around after X10, essentially, or a little bit, maybe a little bit before X10 if you're doing HC, because you probably don't want to die to Katava, right? But if you're playing SC, you can literally get away with not doing gear check until maps. If you know what you're doing, I guess. What does she have?
now you get
Excuse ass. I'm gonna need to upgrade my rings. So I need to get these linked up, and then like this. Look at the amount of life it has, +3.
still alive.
You know, one thing I do gotta say is I do like the loot. It's not perfect, but I like how the looting is in this game compared to D4. Like, there's a good emphasis on crafting and trading. Like, you're not gonna be running all uniques, you know, X1 to 10, right? And D4, you could probably by the end of X1, with the way they set up the quantity and rarity, you probably have like 90% all uniques or legendaries. Not uniques, legendaries, like orange gear. Because uniques is like light orange. But they up the drops of items that normally should be, you know, rare, I guess. Obviously, a lot of players were upset when during like the beta tests and stuff, they made items more scarce, and then yeah, just a lot of people were like, you know, I can't get to this, so we have a bunch of garbage gear.
The judgment is yours to make.
Show no weakness.
Your reckoning is at
But yeah, it was That's the thing. Is like they tune it, but they're not asking. People are not asking like, oh, we want 100%. Like, we want you to crank it up to 100 on all the legendaries. But I was just like, you know, the problem was that the X1s to 3 or whatever, you barely found any good gear, and it made leveling a pain in the ass. But you know, instead they ended up cranking it up like way high up, and then that was just like, that's not what people wanted. They wanted to just have a good balance of decent rare gears. You know, for example, if you beat a boss, it shouldn't be dropping all great gear or just only blues, right? Because it felt unrewarding. So all they just need to do is tune it better. But like for me, I don't mind getting a bunch of legendaries early, but it's just kind of weird, especially when you're like playing a game like, for example, PoE, where, you know, if you get a legendary, it felt meaningful, you know, if it was relevant to your gear, right? There's obviously plenty of drops where it's not useful for you, but at least the scarcity is in a way where, you know, you felt like, oh, finally I got something good, or something potentially sellable. I don't know. It's not always the case here in PoE, but it makes it, you know, it makes it so that at least you're focusing on getting rares, at least all the way up until you're mapping, and then yeah, if you get lucky here and there, get unique item that's relevant to your build. And those unique items felt like, oh man, I can't believe I got this sort of deal. Not always the case, but I think PoE does it generally better in terms of balancing between what items you can get. Now, the one thing PoE does also that is very annoying is that there's a lot of really garbage stuff that drops to the point where you had to, you know, obviously use a filter. But a lot of those gray items that are just like, I mean, you could be in a level 70 zone, but you'll see something like level 10 or something drop, so that's kind of annoying. But we're hoping that they would tighten the drops to where it's more closer towards your, you know, your level and the level of the zone. That way, you know, it makes crafting more meaningful. Like picking up like grays or blues and actually using them to craft. So I think it still needs to be worked on, but
Just make life complicated.
I think generally it does. They already did do a decent job with it compared to what, you know, what I've seen in D4. But I guess they both have different styles, and I felt like maybe D4 just doesn't feel the same if you don't get legendaries, you know,
Hopefully, I can learn from
enough legendaries by the end of Act 1 or 2, right? It would feel sucky if you only get like 1 per act. So that would be tragic.
when I'm ready and not before.
So right now, yeah, it's pretty much just a matter of finding a good balance. Maybe the D4 or the Diablo community is more used to having legendaries, right? Or stacking up on legendaries. Who knows? To me, the legendaries in Diablo feels like rares in this game in terms of power and value. But yeah, I mean, I think for me is maybe because I prefer being able to craft my own item.
Spineless creature.
Wow. Well, that was my 4th death already. I was trying to hit E out, but damn, they just got me. I think they froze me a little bit, so I couldn't move. I'm waiting until 1 hour from now so I can turn on the AC. I had to turn it off because it was storming outside. Jesus. Are those the crystals that killed me last time? Traumatized from that. There should be you'll see there's a clip on Twitch. There's one where I got killed by crystals. But I think these crystals are my mercenary. So I'm good, but I wasn't even aware of it until I got killed by it. If I had to say, like, for me, like, the top 5 favorite builds, they don't have to be the strongest, but for me, there is Cast on Crit Discharge, Essence Drain, Power Siphon, Detonate Dead, and what's another fun one? Cold Snap. Those are like my top 5 favorite. But there's like a ton of new ones out there that I haven't even tried. I've been playing a lot of legacy, older style builds, so I haven't really got to play the newer skills yet. I'm just trying to get my character a little further, so I have sort of like a good backup just in case the newer build goes bad or it doesn't work out.
Not before.
I can always, you know, jump back on the old one and continue at least earning currency
Axe and fury.
so I can redo. Okay. Vanity, Val. Honey, dagger. Yeah, I'll give her a leather belt. Yeah, what if I give this to the 5 chaos? 37. Oh. I don't know if this character can even put on this. Yeah. That's a decent amount of res, but very little
It is
left.
done.
Let's just give you this. And okay, you can't really give her skill gems, right? I'm kind of worried. I'm kind of worried that I might have to tune down the settings for Witcher 4 because I've seen the graphics and it looks crazy good, but it's gonna run heavy. I just know it. And I know Grand Theft Auto 6 is gonna run heavy too, so those games are gonna be really hard to run on a one PC like gaming / streaming setup. So that's why I hopefully by next year I can get something up and running. I really wish my old computer didn't just
Need more mana.
failed, because
Consume you.
it was running at some point, like when I finally got my new PC setup or gaming PC setup. It was working, but one of the days I guess the CPU died. It's like, ah, no, I was so close. I need to head back.
Too much clutter.
I'll just pick this up. Poignard. Poignard. What's this where it started?
When I'm ready and not before.
So Witcher 4, GTA 6, Battlefield 6, I guess, and then what else? There's Silent Hill and there's Resident Evil. I haven't played the ones before that though. I've watched people play it, but I haven't played it myself, so it'd be interesting to try. I guess the sort of the field is kind of open for what games I, you know, am willing to sort of stream.
As you like.
I still have to, I mean, I still got Stalker 2 that didn't even start yet because I obviously didn't start the sequel or the prequel. And then there are KCD 1 and 2, which I gotta actually start and finish, you know? Oh, this has a decent amount of life. Although it's gonna be replaced, but yeah. Need something better than my current glove. Okay. Nothing good here.
Now.
And probably put this. I thought I had more. So those for chaos. I think I had that here. I also can put those on sale for like an hour because I'm not really using them, I guess. Okay.
I want thee to stay till I am in the grave. Until I rot away, dead and buried, lying in the
I'm kind of digging this version of Birds of a Feather than the original. Oh, mother trucker.
ideal.
Having trouble keeping my mercenary alive.
Flames all. Too much clutter.
Come on. Spell damage. You know what? That's better than whatever she has.
As you like.
This was yellow. Black spell damage while holding a shield. All attributes increase damage. Yeah, I might as well put that on. I think I'm looking for right now is like increased chaos damage or increased spell damage. Or something that a multiplier or with a multiplier. I think right this league seems like they have better mob density in general. I don't know if they made any changes. What's going on? Holy moly. I swear, every time I play HC, this league or this zone is always the most scariest one.
Oh, this won't take long.
because they do so much damage, and you're just, you know, you just right off, you know, just came off the boat straight after fighting Kadava, and your resistance reduced by what, like 10-15% or something, and then now you're like super vulnerable, and you do so much physical and fire damage. I have a lot of AT characters that have died in this zone.
Not worth dying over. Take it.
Oh, I don't know if I can wait an hour to turn the AC back on, man. Shit's hot out here. I only turned it off because, yeah, it was thunderstorming and you don't want to have your equipment turned on while that's happening. Or you can blow off a capacitor or something.
King of Brian, and he wants me to be.
This water can help a little bit.
Please, I don't know how I'm doing this, nor if I may again. Help me. Help us before.
Oh, I forgot my phone was turned off. Whoops. Oh my god, I gotta get some gold res. Why this just like the way this this song uses the instrument, I don't know what you even call it, piano. It kind of sounds like one of the Eminem Slim Shady's like beat. I don't know why. Not bad. I think all 4 times I've died is to regular mobs rather than bosses. How embarrassing.
The soil wants for your blood no more.
I can give her that 2 stone. Yeah. Now all the junk gear I probably have a use for them rather than just selling. How'd she die? I don't know. Let me get you some stuff. Oh, I'm frozen. That's what killed me. I got frozen or stunned or something, and then I got smoked. Like these arm blade looking things. Alright, let's hit the waypoint up. Dude, I'm not a huge fan of oatmeal, but when there's no cereal, I had to eat oatmeal. It took me a while. Alright, you get a ring.
Sorted.
Is there a necklace I can give her? Let's sell this.
Deciding
Alrighty. Let's put that up there. Alright, Takley.
You see, farewell. What?
good tidings.
Alright, P for passive. Oh wait, I didn't receive it. That was just a refund. Wait. Yes. Oh, the rare Scion player. Look at that. Right there. DDRA Phoenix. You know what I haven't done yet? I haven't done a delve. So let's go in there. I'm doing delve. Alright, let's see. What can we get?
Stay in the light.
I don't think we can unlock anything yet. Alright, we have 256.
Yes.
Where are we gonna go? What the hell is this? Fungal Cavern? Musty Grave. Alright, I'm trying to think about how I'm gonna get down there. Hey, this way, right? Let's go. Am I gonna get smoked in the mines? Who knows? Oh my god, I'm frozen. Man, I kind of wish I knew about PoE sooner. Like, it was released 2013, right? Like October of 2013 or somewhere around there. But at the time I was playing like League in, I think, late 2013 Battlefield. So I didn't play PoE 1 until 2015. Because I think we were playing a lot of League and then we were trying to find a good PvE game. A game where you can grind on. And then I think Jeff mentioned something about Path of Exile since it's similar to
Die as you were meant to.
similar to Champions of Norath, which is similar to Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance, which was inspired by Diablo 2, I assume. So I ended up trying PoE 1 in 2015 and I've been playing it since, on and off, I guess. But what really started it was when we started playing Champions, because we didn't have, I didn't have a PC at the time. I was playing on the PlayStation, but the Champions was on the PS2. If you were on PC, you probably started with like Diablo 2 or Torchlight or something. Or for those who started in 2013, may have probably stumbled upon PoE on release. But yeah, I wasn't there until like 2 years later. But I think right now PoE 1 is my second most played game, right behind League of Legends. I think League have like something like 3K hours. I don't remember. 1 second, I gotta call. Hello?
Too much clutter. I need more mana. When I'm ready, I'm not before.
I was in the middle of a call. I was about to die. Holy moly. Well, I don't have to eat my own meal because I'm gonna head out and eat. Yes. Just gonna put it in the fridge and eat it later. But yeah, I'm gonna head out soon in like 40 minutes. So dude, I was on the call, right? And then like I was about to die and I was screamed a little bit. I was like, oh shit. I like the delving. I like delve when it came out. It's just that the mobs were they can get pretty rippy. Some of the leagues were like you can die pretty easily in there. So you just gotta be super careful when you're traversing down there. And then if you go like way too far deep past your level, then you get good luck. Oh my god. I want that. The one thing I do like, okay, so one thing I don't like about Essence Train is that it's not like crunchy, right? You know how you have some crit builds out there where like everything just like explodes. This is more like it fizzles. Like they die by fizzling away. I just wish it had more like pop to it. And you could technically build it in a way like that if you wanted to. But right now I'm building it for survivability. Even though I'm not playing HC, but whatever, you know. Think of it like me prepping for HC. Let me head back up. Blood of True Chalain.
Bye.
I should get a couple of these, probably that. That's probably all I can get.
Hearts.
Ah.
Now and then I think of when we were together. Arrow surely hit the apple of my eye.
Oh, let's see. Awaken plaid. Can I have that? Why can't I give her a one? I don't get it. Whatever. Oh well. That one's an upgrade, so pretty happy with that.
Stay in the light, exile.
Alright, prismatic. That goes right in the Delve stash. That's why I have it. Alright, increase effect of cruelty. I don't even know what cruelty does. Shut up. PoE, power cruelty support. Let's see. More damage for hits, space duration. Hits from supported skills grant cruelty. Alright, I don't use that. Plus 10% to damage over time multiplier if you kill recently. Increase skill effect duration, increase duration of elements on enemies. Less damage taken from damage over time. Definitely want this one. I mean, yeah, you can go with the multiplier, but I think increase skill effect duration for me. There's a few more damage over time nodes on the tree, but I might have to pop it into Path of Building to figure out what the best pathing is to get there. Like right now, it's all of this has not even been drafted. Like has not even been pre-planned. It was just like I just built it like this. So the farther I branch this out, the harder it is to be able to respec it or fix it. So I might I could be screwing myself over by not actually pre-planning it, you know. But I might have to do, yeah, I might have to do something. Alright. I might actually have to go on POV because I don't want to like, okay, if I want to keep specking now and then I realize, oh, I screwed this up, it's gonna be hard for me to fix it, right? So I might have to like pop in POV.
Good tidings to you.
Keeping out of.
Where were I at the ridge?
That would just.
Okay, let's just do it like, okay, I'll just pop it open and just before I screw this up, but we can sort of work off what we got. I think Honestly, if I could redo the tree, I would, right? But I'm pretty sure it's gonna cost a crap ton.
Greeting.
Keeping out of
See, respec.
Nothing is truly set in stone.
How much does a repoint cost? Refund cost? Oh yeah, that's expensive. That's like 200 gold. Ooh-wee. Let me just go here. All right, here's POB, right? Let's just show how it works. Desktop. Desktop. Okay. And let's just say, what patch are we on, by the way? Three point 26.0D. Okay. So let's just do new, and then you just gotta click import. What the hell is my username? Shites. 1 second. Do I have a profile that's public? It should be, right? This one you gotta log in to find it. So let me log in. All right. Remember. There it is. I found it. It should be like your name plus # and then like 4-digit number, and you'll be able to find it. So that I can show because it's public. There it is. And then start, right? All right. Okay. Is there a way for me to zoom in here? It's really hard to see, I bet. Let's see, preview scaling. I can't zoom in. All right, so on the upper left, it lets you choose the league, the solo self found standard, all. That one's gonna show all your characters across all leagues. These are all my existing characters right now. They're all in the standard, obviously. But you can filter it to the newest league, which is mercenaries, and then I only have one. And then it's gonna let you choose what you want to import, right? So I have, skills, equipments, jewels. You could just import. Yeah, you can just import everything literally. Just gonna ignore weapon swap. So if you wanna like make sure that the equipment is also imported, you have to uncheck these. So equipment, skills, and jewels. But if you only wanna bring in the tree by itself, then make sure all of these are on, and then just import passive tree and jewels, I guess. So I'm just gonna import all of it, and just get an idea of what damage I do with the current gear that I have. And then probably want to save it, right? I think it was 3.26.0D or something like that. And then probably categorize it as witch. Or for me, it's a cultist. And then essence strain. Or you could just AD/contagion. Essence drain contagion. Like that. Save. There we go. The tree is now in the path of building. So at the bottom where it says show power node, you click on it, and then it'll sort of highlight the tree or nodes that you already kind of picked. And the yellow and the blue, I think it's like it highlights either power nodes or defensive nodes, or like damage based nodes that are considered, a significant increase. And then blue is more like significant increase in defense. So if you see like a really like bright red, then that's indicating that it's going to give you a lot of, or the damage increase, or it's going to give a lot of damage increase. And then the blue ones is a significant like increase in defenses. So in here it'd be like life and energy shield stuff. So say if I were looking for chaos nodes, right, and then I type in chaos, and it's gonna highlight all of them. But it doesn't distinguish between the red circles that you see. It doesn't distinguish between damage or defense. It just highlights anything with the words chaos in this description. So that's why the blue and green, blue and red are there to show, what it does. Stick talents. I'm pretty sure I would want these floating nodes right here, especially this one. Anything where it can bypass a resistance, you probably want to do. Like some type of like in Diablo, you want something that does more damage to vulnerable, or something that is like can bypass resistance or armor or something. So anything you see where it says penetrates resistance or makes it more vulnerable or whatever, and it's multiplicative, then yeah, you probably want to do that. So right now the major chaos nodes that I have, these ones are not gonna get, obviously, because this is just minions, right? Increase minion chaos res, unless I'm doing like a summoning build with minions, then I would consider that. But for now, I probably wouldn't yet. And then this one's just, plus 18% chaos res, reduce effective curses on you, so a lot of defense nodes. It's weird, but yeah, there's not a whole lot of chaos damage nodes on the tree, right? I mean, you got this branch and you got this branch here. This one's just utility. It's just for applying additional curse or increasing duration. That's why I have that here. So this allows me to, because in PoE for base characters, you can only apply one curse at a time. But if you want to apply more curse, you have to get Whispers of Doom. And then for the witch, she has the unique ascendancy node where you can apply a third curse or additional curse by using unholy authority if you spec into it. That way you can, try curse an enemy or something. But yeah, I mean, all I have is really atrophy and then Heart of Darkness that will increase my chaos damage. So there's nothing else here on the left side, right, that will help me aside from this floating node probably. But this is just resistance. This is just resistance. This is defensive. Same thing here. Resistance. Now if we go down here, I can get some more chaos damage, but at this point you're like, you gotta question, is it worth it, right? This is not, I'm gonna ignore this one because it's increased damage with poison. So I'm not actually going for poison. I'm going more for like chaos damage, which is slightly different from poison. I mean, they both do chaos damage, but I think poison is specifically damage over time, right? It's not physical damage over time, because physical damage over time is bleeding. This is chaos damage over time. So, because I think chaos, you can either do chaos damage over time, or you can do chaos damage on hit, like flat damage chaos. So this is slightly different. So the cool thing about this tool is that it shows you the most efficient way to get there, but it's not, obviously it's not that intelligent. Like if it was AI based, it maybe, but it doesn't know what you want to do. Like if I wanted all three of these, this and this, it's not gonna be like you can choose, you can highlight all three, and then maybe it'll find the right padding for you. But it might not be that way. So this one is cast damage over time multiplier, but I think this is more specific for bows. But yeah, so say for example I wanted these three nodes, it's not gonna be like, oh, it's gonna build it for you, right? So I wanted this and this, it's just gonna go all the way around like that. It's gonna skip a lot of nodes, so you still have to use some brain power to figure this out, right? And then the other things to consider is the jewel sockets too. So if I were to type in jewel, that you'll see all of the available jewel sockets. So if you try to maximize on that, you also got to make sure that you want to get the ones on the outside. That way you can put the cluster jewels, and cluster jewels are like these ones here. So I can show what it is. Go to my hideout here. It's right here. These are cluster jewels. You can literally socket them into. You have to put it into these large jewel socket nodes. Those can usually be found on the outside of the tree. I'm not sure if you'll see any on the inside. Maybe, maybe not. I don't think so. They're mostly confined to the outside perimeter. Because these ones are just basic, right? So, yeah. But, I mean, if you can, then probably use them if you have them. So that's what I want to do, right? I want to be able to utilize these cluster jewels. That's why I built my tree kind of outward. Now, I could have done this differently, right? Like I could have here's how some of the builders would have done it. So let's start a new tree, right? Let's say if I'm a witch, so I just highlight witch, and I'm doing the cultist, blah blah blah, and let's just say I'm like level. So you got all the available points. I think that some of the streamers would probably go for like, or not just streamers, but like builders, they would go for something like very aesthetically pleasing. And I don't know if it's technically considered efficient or not. But let's say if you're going SC, you're just going focusing on damage, right? Then you probably would have started here, and then you would have gotten like, you would have went for damage nodes. Let me just can I put an item in there? Just put like tabula rasa, tabula rasa. Add that in, and then for the skill, let's just say we want to do a chest piece. So this is the body armor, and then this essence strain. So basically, I'm equipping a rasa tablet, like a chest piece, and then putting essence strain on the character. That way, it can highlight the damage and defense nodes. So now it's showing as red and blue. You can kind of see how these affect the damage and the defense stats on your character. But when we're going just like straight SC and then just going for damage, I'm not even sure if PoE builders would even go all the way out just to do this. But the wish tree is a little bit unique, right? So you can technically either go out like this. So if I were to just do this, it's just gonna find the shortest path, right? But you might be skipping out on a few nodes here and there. So you can technically do that, go like that, and then just keep going all the way around if you wanted to. you go all the way down here, that, then you get that. I mean, if you ever look like at one of those build guides, they might look something like that, where it's just one really long continuous line, and they're just maximizing the way they path the tree for getting as much, for example, no sockets as they can get. So if I really wanted to, I can build that way. So that's already, let's just say I'm like just focusing on drill sockets. Because the thing about drill sockets is you can switch them in and out. You can find a good yellow one or unique, you switch them in and out accordingly. Like if you want something with more damage, just you can literally socket 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Drill socket nodes, and then 7 right there, right off the bat. And you like this one, you're not really. This is like all along the way. So as I'm getting chaos nodes, then like the way it's built is the dual sockets are in a convenient path, like they're on the way there. And that's maybe what some builders like to do, is like they like to have like a continuous line, and then it has all the nodes that they need, or dual socket nodes that they need on the way, because that's probably what they're maximizing for. Other builds might be going towards whatever is already on the tree. Like if they're going for like a specific cluster, then they'll go the other way. But I think for the most part, a lot of builds you see will try to maximize for as much dual sockets. You don't have to go out your way to get all of that dual socket, but I mean, if they're on their way, then it might be worth it because it's flexible. Like you don't have to respec or anything. You just insert a dual socket into the tree. And what I mean by that is like here, these little things here, like one of these guys. And then when you press P and you open your inventory, if I were to spec in here, I can literally just socket that right in. And then this comes with, you know, different stats. So you can have, if you got like a blue, obviously it's 2. Like a suffix and prefix, I guess. But if you have something like a yellow one, then I'll have 3. I think it's just all suffixes, right? They're not prefixes, because prefixes are the one at the top. Like on this belt, the prefix would be the plus 31 to max life, and then the suffix would be everything below it. So it'd be from 34 armor, 57 max life, and everything beneath. So like this one, this little blue jewel has 3 stats on there. So that's what that's what we mean by like it's flexible, because you can, if you found something better, you can just swap it out on your tree. And that's why a lot of people like to go for dual sockets. But also, I mean, they updated a lot of the larger nodes in this game on the passive tree, so it might be worth, you know, using stuff already on the tree itself. But I mean, if you're really close to a dual socket and it only takes up a few nodes, then yeah, why not, right? Like for example, this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, you probably go here, because now you got access to, for example, the large dual socket, and then you can put the cluster node on the tree, and that will branch out and allow you to put, if this was like a yellow large cluster node and you put it on the tree, then it would branch out, and it would have another socket on there where you can put another medium cluster node jewel on there. So you're pretty much expanding. So it might be worth it to, you know, even if it's like 1, 2, 3, 4 points being used, it opens it up to more like nodes, you know, and more stat boosts, I guess. So, you know, you wanna, if you could somehow manage it, then if you could somehow get as much large seconds as you can, it'd be worth it. But it depends, right? I don't know in this league if any of the large jewel cluster jewels are, you know, if their stats are worth the, you know, the points being used, maybe. But if you find something good, it might be worth it. So this one is only what, 1, 2, 3 points, so you might as well, right? That's already 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's probably how you would see a build being, or how people being, you know, building a tree. Like they completely just go all the way around. Obviously they're gonna want to get stuff in between, like life, and then they probably want to get more life and ES or something. If you go into witch, you're probably just gonna maximize on ES. But this one comes with life too. So yeah. But I think if I'm building HC, yeah, you can probably pull off this tree, but trust me, it's gonna be rough because you're gonna be okay. You say like you're playing a witch AC, you're going all the way out like that, and if you're not getting like ES and life on the way as you go, you're gonna be struggling to stay alive. So newer players may want to go for a tree that has more access to defense nodes, like right away. So this is what I mean by when you're going out of your way to get jewel sackets. It might not be worth it, right? Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, that's not too bad, but if you're branching out like that and you're only getting one thing, it might not be worth it, right? Unless there's something justifiable, right? Maybe they have a good amount of ES nodes over here or something. This is not a whole lot. They nerfed this cluster, but I mean, if there's something along the way, then fine. You can definitely spec downwards and maybe go out your way. Maybe you want to increase your effect, or I don't know, or maybe you want it pain attunement, like these keystone nodes. Right, are they called keystones? Because I know these bigger ones are called notary, and then these are just called regular nodes. These are keystone ones, and then the ones in the center are mastery nodes. So yeah, I mean, if this area that you're heading towards has what you need on the way, then fine. But if you're just literally doing this just only to get that one, I would say it might not be worth it. Like those 4 points could be used towards like something else that may have been more accessible to you. Like maybe here you wanted to get this or something. Those 4 points rather than using it on these 4 intelligence nodes. But if you found a really good amount of jewels that have some really good stats, maybe you can just forego that and just go with the jewel sacket nodes. Who knows? There's also like, I mean, you can build out like this, right? But that's a lot more. There's already 1, 2, 3, 4, but then you're also using nodes for here as well. So I mean, if it's on the way, it's fine. Like this one has ES and ES regen, so you might be okay, right? And then you got access to the life nodes here. Now that I think about it, maybe I should have built it like this. But yeah, as I said, I didn't really come up with a build prior to just starting this character. So yeah, I might have to roll with what I got. Unless I want to waste time or just completely start a new character. And then maybe like, I don't know. Let's see. Does this tree have enough access to energy shield regen? I mean, if you're gonna do this type of build, just make sure you're not looping things. I know it doesn't really matter, but it might be a sign of like the build being efficient. So for example, if I wanted elemental overload, there shouldn't be a scenario where I am this is a loop right here, right? So it means that you probably spec it in a way where it's not efficient. So say I wanted that, then maybe this side I probably didn't need. Or well, I screwed that one up. Maybe it would have been better to go outwards like this, right? Rather than that way. Like that, and then like this, and then like that. So apparently the tree is recommending that if you're gonna go for this cluster, then you might as well spread it, like go left this way and then go right that way. So that's kind of where my build is already heading towards. But I mean, you can technically do it like this, and then you can close off this, and then you still have the same principle. It's one long highway, continuous highway, and you pick up important nodes as you go, but it might not be the most efficient because maybe these 3 branches here, you probably don't need anything from here if you're not building for like LE damage, like cold, lightning, and fire. So maybe I don't really need to go along the top side of this tree, and you know, with just 2 intelligence nodes being used, I can cut this off and still be able to reach the other side. So that's why my tree is shaped differently. I know that some build guiders or builders will want to make it look very aesthetically nice, but some characters and some builds just don't have that luxury. Maybe this would have been a possible build too. This would have been another way to do it, but yeah, I would have to have cut off this side of the tree, but I wanted to access to this jewel socket here, which is just right there. So was there anything here that I would have needed? I also would have needed acrimony. I mean, I could have done it like this, right? So this would have been cut off. That. I just go from right to middle to right and then left. That's another way to do it too. Then you go here, then you go here, and then here. That's certainly possible. As I said, if these top nodes are not going to be used, then it might not be worth it to try and wrap around from like the outside, and then start building from inside out or something. So that's kind of where I'm at. Like, should I redo this? Maybe. But it might not be necessary to. So I think so, as long as I can get to the nodes that I need. Jewel socket. Jewel socket. Because I have access to these 2 right away. And then I have access to that. Now the question is, how am I going to get down here? That one I'm like, kind of like, shit, you know. I didn't think about it. But it might go out like that. And then this one probably will be like that. So it's not gonna be the prettiest looking thing, but 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That might be a way of how I would have fixed the tree, or just build off of what I have. So you have access to 8 jewel sockets. You still have access to the damage over time multiplier stuff, growth decay. Probably want that. And then I'm not sure how I would have got reached up here. I would have wanted access to that. Something like that. So this one is here is what I mentioned, is it kind of want to avoid it looping like this. But I think there was no way to really avoid that in this situation. It just kind of does. I'll actually cut that off, but it's a live node, so why, just keep it. Or you could go here, and then you could go up here if you wanted to. But either way, it connects. Yeah, you could do that, but it goes way out of the way. Like, it uses too many points to get to this node. So this way is probably more efficient. But it's whatever. It's not gonna be an issue if something loops. It's just that it looks kind of weird. And there might be a sign that, as I said, there might be a sign that you might have spec'd it inefficiently, but here, there's not really a whole lot of choice, right? Another way I can probably fix this is if I were to go like that and then cut this off. Yeah, I guess this is the way they built this tree. Is there's no kind of nice way to get to this node without somehow having these connect together. Unless you do it like that. But then this is like almost a full loop. I mean, this is essentially a full loop at that point. Yeah. You can probably cut this off here. And then maybe, let's see, you could probably do like this. And then you could probably cut this off here, like that. And that still kind of follows the general principle. Like, it's still like a pretty continuous line without overlap. That technically follows the rule here, or the sort of optimized path. But in terms of what nodes that you got, is it optimized? Probably not. I mean, technically this one you could go like this, skip those. Although increased damage would be nice too. Yeah, I guess that's one way to do it here. That's something I had to think about. I think I might have to go soon, actually. Yeah, I might have to go. So it's already been almost 40 minutes, right? So I can't really do anything yet, much, but. Well, at least I know that just by running it through Path of Building, which I recommend for new players, it's like if you're like playing the game brand new, yes, you can totally play it, go blind, but if you hit a damaged wall and want to redo your character or fix your current one, then plug it into Path of Building at least and try and learn how to rebuild it correctly. At that point is like if your character hits a wall, say like at X8 or 9 or even past Katava to maps, like everything was working fine, and then you got to like tier something maps and then it stopped working. It might be like you might have to consult a build guide or just look up a YouTube vid on how to redo your build, because you don't want to end up to that point where you felt like you hit a wall and then you just stop playing the game. I've run into that wall many times in back then, but nowadays I just either redo the character or I just like end up looking up a guide just to see, okay, how can I fix this because my character is either not doing enough damage or dying too much or whatever. Anyways, yeah, I gotta head out. Yeah, see ya in the evening or at night. Later.